Good day, grade 11 students. Welcome to English for Academic and Professional Purposes class. Feminism, Literary Criticism. Every literary approach has its own uniqueness. Just like as humans, we have our strengths and weaknesses. These literary approaches will help us understand the beauty of literature. By the way, when do we hear these words? Phenomenal Filipina, empowered women, and women's advocacy. We often hear this during Miss Universe Philippines or during beauty pageants. Do you think that they are under the characteristics of feminism? Feminism is an ideology that has been highly controversial. It asks such questions as, do women have too much or too little power? Some women feel that they are in favor of equality with men, but do not like the idea of feminism. It has been said that we live in a post feminist age, and some contend that the main goals of feminism have been realized. Feminism is controversial in the sense that different feminists mean different things by the term. What are the common features of feminism? It focuses on the roles, positions, and influences of women. According to Maggie Hum and Rebecca Walker of 2010, the history of feminism can be divided into three waves. The first wave, early 19th century. This focused on the promotion of equal contract and property rights for women and the opposition to chattel marriage and ownership of married women and their children by their husbands. And by the end of 19th century, activism focused primarily on gaining political power, particularly the right of women suffrage. Second wave, 1960s and 1970s. It focused on the civil rights movement, raised the issues of equality and justice. The second wave of feminists wanted justice in political view and also equal salary in economic. We have also the third wave. Gender and sexuality are the main focus. Gender is created of patriarchy, patriarchy and not God. It makes terms masculine for the stereotype of men and feminine for the stereotype of women. Gender is also determined by the culture. Constructs women to be weak. For the men, they are doctrined to be strong. Based on the ideology, feminism can be divided into five. We have liberal feminism, radical feminism, Marxist feminism, socialist feminism, and black feminism. Let's discuss first liberal feminism. Liberal feminism argues that all humans have some rational ability, tends to look for the same equality between men and women, and it persuades women that they have capability to be the same equality and ability with men. Okay, thus it focuses on women's ability to show that they have the same rational thinking, maintain it to their action. Liberal feminism looks for the equality in all aspects like social, political, and economic. We have also radical feminism. Here, women are always pressed by men, thus, they have to fight them back. Have a strong opinion that men are their enemies so that they cannot live with them. Radical feminism tends to be lesbian. It is the way to separate them with men. They make their own community, which is called lesbian. If radical feminism marries with men, it means she serves, lives, and sleeps with the enemy. Radical feminism focuses on politics. The third one, we have also Marxist feminism. It focuses on the class, wants to fade the class because labor women have lower class than men. And women get the salary lower than men. Patriarchy makes the relationship between men and women like the landowner with his labor. Men as the landowner and women as the labor. Marxist feminism also states that marriage is a place for women exploitation. It started that because women are obligated to everything in domestic area without salary. The fourth one, we have socialist feminism, argues that social construction is the main reason of injustice toward women. Women have been condemned to their oppressed status by the same social forces and relations which have brought about the oppression of one class by another, one race by another, and one nation by another. It is the capitalist system, the ultimate stage in the development of class society, which is the fundamental source of the degradation and oppression of women. Black feminism claims it is the hardest movement even from other feminism because the oppression not only comes from white men but also comes from black men. Feminism also rejects the binary opposition. When I say binary opposition, it is the separation between men and women. It is made by patriarchy to give advantages to men. It also makes the stereotype of women. Okay. From the binary opposition above, the advantages go to men. Based on the occupation, men are given the opportunity to work in public area. And to work in public area, men are given the chance to get high education. Indirectly, it impacts to the economic life. They will be independent because they have skill, education, and a chance to work in public area. Different with men, women are not allowed to work in public area. So they are not obligated to get high education. These are the typical questions when we analyze a feminist approach, when we analyze a text, especially feminism. As for example, Sylvia Plath is a female. Okay. Here are some examples of questions. By the way, you may look back and read these questions. Okay. What I have said a while ago, as for example, Sylvia Plath is a female author who wrote the poem The Metaphors. It talks about the life of a pregnant woman. And another poem, Sylvia Plath also wrote The Mushrooms. Okay. By the way, I will give you a copy of the mushroom poem on our Google Classroom or on Messenger. Okay. I guess mushroom poem or the mushrooms is a good example for feminism. This poem was published in 1960, which many critics believe that this can be interpreted as a feminist struggle and growth to greater self-awareness. The poem shows the mushrooms growing and forcing their way into being, and after the 1950s, many positive changes happened. The women equality system has mushroomed. Okay. As analyzed by Shitarago on her research, she mentioned this analysis. Here are some lines found in the poem. Nobody sees us, stops us, betrays us. The small grains make room. That's from the line 7 to 9. Women cannot be underestimated. They will be treated as earless and eyeless. But one day they will challenge the beliefs and values of the patriarchal society. As the poem continues, women are described as an integral part of the everyday life who do not care to ask anything in return. Okay, as we can see on these lines. Number 1, diet on water, on crumbs of shadow, bland mannered asking, little or nothing. So many of us, so many of us. That's from the line 22 to 24. The poem criticizes the women itself. They should gather and ask for their rights more aggressively. They should step out of their role as a housewife. Okay, the whole poem has a powerful effect despite the fact that women are compared to such ordinary things like mushrooms. Uses various literary devices such as metaphor or allusions. And to conclude, feminism is a movement because there is injustice toward women. Men dominate the women in all aspects of life, such as social, political, and economic. Men can dominate them because there is a system that gives advantages to men. And this system is called the patriarchy system. Okay, that's all for today. Have a good day and thank you for listening.